Hello everybody, how is it going? So, today, first off, it's been a minute. Second off, new law deck, we finally have OP10 on, I guess it's not OP10 now, it's just OP10. But we finally have it on the sim, and I figured it's about time for my, I don't even know what my upload schedule is at this point, but, you know, every couple weeks to months, you know the vibes, but... yeah, I just wanted to start off the video with showing the deck list. This is, I believe, from a top 16 from a regional. We can talk a little bit about the list just because there's kind of two ways you can take this deck. You can kind of focus more on beating Blackbeard or focus more on beating Shanks. I think it's probably more worth teching cards for the removal matchups because removal is always going to be your enemy, you know, when you don't have a board. It's a bit easier to play the game on green-yellow law just because 7-cost law can really kind of carry you if you have nothing on board. You kind of need like something small to play, but you can kind of do it all in a turn pretty easily later on. So, card is very good. But yeah, if you don't know how the deck works, pretty much he's very similar to red-green, except you give him a Dawn instead of paying 2. And if you have the total cost of characters is 5 or more. So a little bit different from red-green. You don't need 5 characters. You just need your total cost to be 5 or more, which is very good. You can bounce a card to your hand and reveal the top of your life. If it's a supernova that's 5 or less, you can play it. So less, I guess, it's like more and less restrictive than red-green because you don't have to go like color for color. It's just, if it's a supernova, you can play it. But also it's out of your life, so you need to actually set it up rather than just having it in your hand. And there's a good amount of ways to do that, but yeah, the deck is very cool. I think it's a bit less weak to removal, which is very good. I do think at this point it's definitely stronger than red-green. I never loved red-purple law. It just didn't feel like red-green to me. This deck definitely feels a lot closer to red-green, at least to me personally. So I played the deck for, I want to say, around an hour today. I put like half the games in this video, probably go another half later on in the week. I kind of want to try like learn this deck well as like just Yellow Kid for, I believe March is when OP10 is available to me. So yeah, that's the plan for now. I'm not gonna say there's gonna be consistent uploads, but definitely at least once a week, if not maybe a couple more times, depending I guess on how much I'm actually playing. I really haven't been playing any card games lately. Yeah, I've just, not that I don't want to, it just hasn't really worked out in going to locals or just playing with friends or whatever. So I don't know, I just haven't had the motivation to really be grinding, but the deck that I really want to play is coming out. So let's start grinding, you know, it's on the sim, we might as well. But we can quickly run through the list. Cavendish card, it's just, if you're playing a supernova deck and you're in green, you should be playing this card. This card is just very, very good. Obviously works perfectly with our leader. Has a lot of cool stuff with like Restand Law, which we are playing 3 of. We're playing 2 Killer. In all of my games, this card has never felt amazing or anything. I don't think I've ever actually like played it as a blocker. I've played it as something to just take back to my hand. So yeah, I can imagine it coming up. I mean, it has counter. It's a, you know, a chump blocker you can search, so it's not bad. It can also just replace itself. So I'm iffy on the card, but I don't think it's bad or anything. Obviously, Blocker Law, surprisingly in this deck, doesn't feel as good as just like Bonnies and like Restands sometimes, but it's just because you need like 2 1-costs on board, which you don't always have because you're not committed to filling the board. You often have kind of just like a bunch of 5 costs. But yeah, card obviously still very, very good. Works perfectly with the deck. Next we have Bonnie. Again, just kind of, it's solid. It can throw people off curves. It can, you know, delay a turn if they have like 1 big body on board and you can just stun it. It's very nice. Good utility. 4 Searcher Bonnies. This card, I haven't been playing her like I played her in red-green just because, I don't know, maybe I should be. I feel like 2 Dawn is so much to commit later on just because of like the 7-drop law, and also your board is, if your board is very full, it's kind of hard to loop Bonnie. Obviously the same was the case for red-green, but you could reason sacking off another 1-drop for Bonnie, but in this deck, if your board is filled with like 7 costs and 5 costs, I really don't want to play a Bonnie over them, so I've kind of just been playing her early, and she's just a 2-Dawn Luffy searcher for me, which is fine. I still do think you can obviously kind of get the value loops with her, but a little bit harder just because you need to actually set up, you know, your leader effect. But 3 restand law, I mean, card very good with Cavendish. Sadly does not work with 7-drop law. That would be awesome if it did, but that would probably be a bit much. 4 Mihawk, which is again kind of the one of the tech cards towards removal matchups. Playing this into Basil is very, very strong. People don't want to kill this card because you just literally lose a life if you kill it. So playing this body rested is pretty much just going to stick, because like why would you just want to trash your life for fun? So yep, very solid in the deck. Can obviously also play stuff like Zoro, can play this law. I think those are really our main targets, but yeah, it's solid. You know, it is kind of just like a bad statted vanilla, but it has counter, the trigger is pretty good, and people don't want to remove it, so that's very good in the control matchup. Next we have Beji, again kind of like one of the main setup pieces for the deck. Lets you stack your life basically. It has to be Supernova, but that doesn't conflict with our deck at all, so completely chill. Also 2K, and kind of once you have one of these, you can always just keep cycling it with your leader effect, so once you get access to something to stack your life, it's pretty easy to maintain it. We're playing 1 Bonnie. Yep, I just kind of went with the guy's list. I can't tell you why exactly just 1. I mean, the card, it doesn't feel the best early on, if that makes sense. Because, like, if you're going second, which I feel like this version of the deck wants to do, because you take away the curves that, like, Shanks and Blackbeard want to go, because normally you'll go like 1-drop, and then if you're ideally you go Mihawk into Hawkins, and then you can like bounce the 1-drop, and then play, you know, one of your 5 costs. But obviously that doesn't really fit with setting up what's it called? What am I trying to think? It doesn't set up your life at all unless you like Beji turn 1, but then I guess if you're going first, it's fine, but if you're going second, which again, like stacking your life turn 1, quote unquote turn 1, when you're going second doesn't feel that great, because a lot of decks will just like slap all their Dawn on leader and attack you for 8, and you're like, oh, well, why did I even bother doing that? So, yeah, that's like a reason Bonnie's kind of slightly worse, but it is another blocker, and it does set up your turns later on if you need to. It does kind of fit in with this law, even though you don't really need it to, because law just sets himself up, but regardless, I'm yapping. We talked about Hawkins, good card. Luffy, which is just a version of Red Nami, just in this deck. It just looks top 5, adds a Supernova that's not Luffy. 3 Rush Zoro, again, very similar to Red Rush Zoro, except it has a clause where you need less life than your opponent, which is fine, because you're at 4 life, and you're pretty good at taking your own life, so it should be pretty easy to meet that. Also has a trigger, which is very solid, of just getting a 5k body on the field. Yeah, you can't complain with that. 7-drop law, kind of the heart of the deck. Basically does everything your leader wants it to do. You get to stack a Supernova on your life, then give a Dawn to your leader. So literally just in that 7 Dawn sets up your whole leader. Obviously you don't want to bounce it to use leader, but if you have a 1-drop or whatever, it's completely fine. And then the 4-drop law, which is a 2k and can trigger itself out if your opponent's life and your life total 5 or less. So pretty solid. I definitely misread this trigger and trashed it for fun, so that's pretty awesome. And we're playing 2 more pizzas. Yep, just again like Luffying into this if you really need to find a specific piece. Same thing, Bonnie into this, like Bonnie this, that, like they coincide. Like this engine is very strong at searching itself. Even in red-green towards like later on lists, we were playing some more pizzas just for consistency. But yeah, that's the list. I'll probably try different lists, but for this video and definitely the next video, it's just going to end up being this list. So, yep, we talked about it. That's where we're at. And yeah, let's get into the games. All right, so starting off, we have a smoker. We are going first. He chose to go second. I think this list wants to go second. I think it's fine with going first. We do have the combo of Mihawk into Hawkins, which is pretty good. Again, we were talking about it with the removal matchup. Removing Hawkins just doesn't feel good, I think, ever. So, yeah, we're just gonna do the thing. We did the thing. Yeah, but again, like, if we were going second, we'd have the extra Dawn to, like, attach to leader and then bounce Luffy. We wouldn't have anything set up, but, you know, like, maybe we'd hit. You never know. He does actually swing at Hawkins. I defend it, because if he wants to commit Dawn to swinging at it with brand new, that's kind of fine with me. We're going to play the Cavendish and then probably just YOLO the leader effect. I think I'm trying to figure it out if there's any way I can, manipulate it, but not really. I find a Bonnie and I just play it. This is my very first game with the decks. You're going to have to, allow me to make some misplays. I don't think I should have done that. I guess it's a search for next turn. That's cool and all, but I don't think that's worth sacking a life for. But, we did it. It's where we're at. He's going to swing Kuzan at Mihawk, reduce Cavendish by 4. I'm going to defend it just because I want all of my board. I want to hit him with my board, so I'm going to try to defend it. He's going to probably swing 7. Maybe, I doubt it, Hawkins. Maybe at Hawkins, I don't know. Goes 5 at the Mihawk, you have to let it go. And yeah, it's going for the Hawkins. We'll just let him die and, yeah, take a life. And I'll play Brook to pop the Cavendish. Kind of annoying, we lost our board there, but yeah, it might be okay. We really don't have a good way to stack our life, which is a bit annoying. We don't find one with the Luffy. I think I'm trying to just debate what's better, the Bonnie or the Cavendish. The Bonnie can stun the Kuzan if he, like, defends it aggressively. But we end up going with the Cavendish, and I'm like, I think I'm just swinging at life and hoping for the best. We could, yeah, go Bonnie into Luffy, and then Luffy try to find something to stack our life. But at this point, is it even worth it? Yeah, we can just play the Cavendish, and then, yeah, Luffy, I guess. And we do find Beji, but we still don't really have the room to play Beji. And, we'll just YOLO it. We find a 7-drop. Yeah, and we're going to leave it there, which is good. So kind of not a very productive turn. I don't know if there's really a way I could have played it better, honestly. I guess I could have kept digging for Beji, but at that point, isn't it, like, redundant? I'm using all of my Dawn to do the thing. Like, when I could just play the Cavendish, so, yeah, I don't know. We do end up just ignoring the Kuzan. We end up ignoring the Brook and the Kuzan, which is probably not a good idea. But he's down at 2 life. I want to kill him, but I don't have the board to really do that, so, yeah. I think, that turn, maybe I'm just supposed to commit to, like, getting rid of Kuzan, but it's kind of hard. I don't know. Like, we don't really have any of the unblockable, like, scammage in this deck, obviously, because we're not in red. So we don't have, like, Luffy or, like, Diablo Jambe. Not that Law really ever played Diablo Jambe, but, it's a thing. But we get to play the 7-drop Law, which I'm happy about. We get to do the whole little thing here, which feels pretty good. Yeah, that's cool. We get to do this before we die. That's pretty awesome. We'll just grab a 2K. I mean, honestly, the board isn't terrible. I mean, it could be worse. His board is definitely stronger. He has a Kuzan and a Brook, which is just going to kill my blocker because I'm just ignoring them. But, you know. This is definitely a trial game here, where I think I just got controlled quite well and didn't really get to aggro him out of the game, which I mean, maybe I should have pivoted and just tried to fight for board, but I mean, it's kind of hard if like he just defended the Kuzan and I committed my turn to try to kill it and he had Borsa. So I mean, I don't even know if it was necessarily incorrect, but we got Kaido'd, and yeah, I mean, we're on 0 life. We should just be dead. Like, I do think I just ended up conceding. I could play 7-drop Law one more time just for fun. That could be a play. Cheat out of Cavendish. That's big. Search with Bonnie. We find a blocker Law. Yeah, we could do the thing again. I think we should do the thing, but and then scoop. I think that's optimal. Yeah, 7-drop Law. Put blocker Law on life. Bounce Luffy, replay Luffy. Nah, we just concede. Yeah, it was pretty over. I definitely maybe should have tried to fight for board. I don't know. It seemed like a hard spot. Like, our deck doesn't really have removal for, like, a Kuzan, so that card is just broken against us. Especially if he has, like, a blocker to protect it. Like, how do we remove it? We really don't. But I don't even know what I was mulliganing for there. Probably, like, the funny with Mihawk and Hawkins. I think we had Hawkins, but I don't think we had Mihawk. But we're going to Luffy. We find a Veggie. And I'm like, yeah, I could play this Veggie, stack my life, and then he's just gonna hit me for 8. But let's do it anyway. Maybe he won't do that. So we'll put Blocker Law out there. If he wants to just hit me for 8, that's all right, I guess. It's probably inevitable. But yeah, no, whatever. Having an extra character to bounce on board is kind of fine with me. I'll just grab the Law. I guess we could have stacked Zoro, but then we don't really get to leader effect it, so yeah, you know, whatever. We'll play Zoro, and we're just going to YOLO the leader. It's Mihawk, we're just going to leave it there, and swing 5-6. Obviously this 5 will just get met with a leader effect, and then we'll just swing 6. But, you know, like, whatever. I guess I could have just swung 6, and I maybe get a card out of him anyway, but I kind of am fine with him swinging at my Zoro because I don't want him to hit my life. So, I mean, that's also like the thing about this deck is I'll take my life pretty aggressively, and I don't know. I should probably try to be more conservative in some matchups, but at some point I feel like it always just becomes a race with this deck. So maybe it's all right. But he does swing 8 at Zoro, and it's leaving 2 up for probably a Red Hawk. So I guess that's something I need to be aware of. But I don't think I really play anything that gets, like, taken out by Red Hawk, so it should be fine. We can, yeah, put a different 5 cost, and then Cavendish, and then leader effect. Yep, yes, sir. So, hey, look at this, look at this. This feels good. This is the value I'm looking for. We get to search with Luffy. We already have 2 7-drops, so we probably just grab 2K. Yeah, the Law 2K looks cooler. We already have a Veggie, so we'll take the Law 2K. Yeah, just swing for 7. If he wants the Red Hawk, that's fine. I lose my Luffy, but nah, whatever. Who cares? We're at the point where next turn we get the 7-drop, and we don't really... I guess we wouldn't have anything great to bounce. So that is something. There is some value in that. But we'll pass it over. He plays Ben Beckman and goes for the Blocker Law. I think he definitely should have went for Cavendish, because Cavendish is kind of a good card. But I end up countering with a 2K just because I want my 5-drops, so I actually have plays with these 7-drops in hand. That's like, yeah, I guess it's just a 2-card combo. It's like having, like, Restand Law, or not Restand Law, Blocker Law and Zoro, and Red-Green. It's fine. It's all good. And yeah, I was like, what am I doing here? I forgot that, yeah, you put a character in life and then you attach the Dawn. We're going to swing with Cavendish, Restand 2 Dawn. Feels pretty good. And he will counter for 2. I guess just reducing Cavendish, so in case I restand it, doesn't attack for as much. Which is pretty good. It's pretty, like, meaningful thing in this matchup as it comes out right now. So he only gets attacked for 5 twice. But if he only has 2Ks, I guess it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to Bonnie, just one of his Dawn. He should only be on, how much Dawn? Shoot. What curve was I on again? So he's on 9 Dawn, so it's not like he was getting a 10-drop or anything. Plays another Ben Beckman. Goes for the Cavendish this time. Maybe at this point you pop something else and then you swing 8 at the Cavendish. I don't know, but then I could just defend it. You probably just want the Cavendish out. We're going to take that 7. We're going to counter out of the 6. So our spot is a little bit scary. We don't really have much defense available. This Luffy could always find a blocker, which could be good. We also found the 3-drop Bonnie blocker. So we can definitely wall up pretty well here. Debating on if I want to just go life or board. He's low in hand, so it makes me want to go board. I'm just debating, I think, how I want to swing. Yeah, let's just go 6 and see how he responds. If he takes this, maybe we just attack low again and hope that he drops a card. And then maybe we swing at the Ben Beckman. But instead he just drops another 2K there, and I'm like, okay, I'll just swing 9 at the Ben Beckman. And then we'll just go back to swinging at life. And he'll take that 6. And then we will 7-drop. We'll stack the Blocker Law, and then give it Dawn to my leader. We'll take back the Luffy, play out the Law, and then, like, we can, yeah, bounce back 5-drop Bonnie, play the 3-drop Bonnie. And if we had like a trigger, we could stack that in our life, but we don't. So I guess we can, yeah, just put whatever in our life. We'll put the veggie. Doesn't really matter. We'll swing 8. And we're pretty much just committed to going for game next turn. We'll hope he doesn't have enough defense to kind of get through that. But he plays Rayleigh, minus his 3 to restand law, and probably just something else that's going to attack next turn. Oh no, actually decides to pop the blocker Bonnie, so it'll just swing into the restand law. That or he might just go life, but I mean, he can't really kill, so that probably will not happen. He goes 5 into 3. And we just let that go. Yeah, actually AFK'd there for a second. So, all good, all good. He just goes 9 at life. And, yeah, we just take that, right? And then we're just committed to going for game. We don't have, like, a restand law, which could help in going for game. But maybe we can find one with a Luffy Searcher if we need to. We'll just start off with 9. He doesn't have... He's tapped out, so we're not playing around Red Hawk or anything like that. Uses leader effect, and then I guess he can double 2k. Uses the kick course and then takes a life. Okay, so he probably just has no more counter in hand, so we'll swing 9 again. Probably just mess up the math there in his head, I guess. And I thought I had the button enabled where I could just attach on my Dawn. I don't, so I just slapped all my Dawn on leader and just attacked for 15, and that should just be game. Went pretty well. We didn't really get brutalized by Red Hawk, but then again, I don't think Red Hawk hurts this deck too much, honestly. And now we have the mirror, which I've never played it, so I have no idea how this goes. We don't have a Luffy Searcher or anything like that. We could just play this killer just to get a 2-drop on board. I definitely debate playing Bonnie, but playing Bonnie into like a pre-played like 1-drop feels so bad. So I don't think I end up doing that. I think I just play the killer because I don't want to give his Luffy free value. You know, feels bad. But we'll pass. He's on his 3 Dawn. Plays out X Drake, which is interesting. I don't know why. Because like, yeah, you clear my blocker, but also I get to clear the X Drake. So I don't know. It feels a little bit weird. But, you know, whatever. This turn is kind of awkward. Yeah, I just ended up playing the 2k counter law. Because again, I don't really want to play a Bonnie into the Luffy. So we'll just get a 5k body down. You know, whatever. We're ahead on board now. Let's go. He's going into his 5 down turn, so if he has Cavendish, it could be pretty good. If he has the whole combo with like Cavendish, Veggie, plus you know something to put in life to leader effect into, could be very strong. Just plays blocker law, understandable. Is gonna bounce the Luffy, probably just replay the Luffy. No, actually plays Carmel. I kind of like this card. It's literally just a 2-drop that says draw card. I feel like that card could go in over like Killer, because if you think about it, it's the same effect, but one just isn't a blocker. So there is that. But then again, Killer doesn't care about on play, so I guess Killer's a bit better into Blackbeard. So there's that. We're just gonna swing 5 because I'm hoping he will free block with this law, so I can just use Bonnie on it because that sounds pretty good, right? Agreed. So yeah, we'll just swing 5. He does counter out of this first one. And let's try again with my leader, because why not? And he does free block that one, so we did it. Success. We'll play the Bonnie and freeze the law, and I guess we'll just pre-play. Yeah, we'll just pre-play the Bonnie. I thought about giving a Dawn to my leader and just like seeing if there's something on my life, but I don't think there's a reason to bounce my law when it's kind of something to fight over on board. You know, he has 1 swing really this turn with his leader. And potentially, I guess, a restand law, but nah, we'll just leave it on board. He does play the Luffy, so we know he does not have a 7-drop this turn, which is good for us, because next turn we will have a 7-drop. So we'll be ahead on that end. He's going to play Veggie, stack a Bonnie. So I guess our Dawn is going to get frozen, unless he wants to freeze the 5k law. Either one, the Dawn is probably better. But then again, like, he should know that I don't play anything above a 7 cost, and if I have the 7 cost, I'm probably just going to play it, so I don't know, the 1 Dawn could matter. You know, it prevents me from searching with Bonnie if I want to play 7-drop law, so there is that. Taking a second to think here, plays his own Bonnie, is going to search, I imagine, finds the X-Drake. I don't think I'm playing X-Drake. Actually, I know I'm not playing X-Drake. That card could be good. The new one, obviously. Swings 8 at our Law. We just let him go. The Bonnie can only freeze my Dawn now, so that's fine. We'll just have 7 going into next turn. And we're probably just going to use him on a 7-drop, because what else are we using him on? I don't know. So we'll put the Blocker Law on life, give it down to my leader. We'll bounce the Bonnie, play Law, and a little bit awkward here because we don't have a second 1-drop. This is kind of what I was talking about. It might have been better to just play the second Bonnie here instead of the Blocker Law. I kind of just wasn't thinking about that. I saw Law and Zoro, and I'm like, I have to. But then it's like, not really. I don't really want to bounce this Bonnie. I haven't even attacked with it. So, yeah, I think the better play was probably just Bonnie again and just not let that Law play the game, which is fine, honestly. Goes 6 into Bonnie. I think I just let this go. Yeah, I don't know. It feels bad defending that because there's probably like 2 more swings at it, and I don't want to drop 3 cards to defend that body. I'd rather just take a life. Taps 8. Plays an 8-drop Kid, which is not a card I'm playing, which is unfortunate because this card in any mirror, in Bonnie mirror, in this mirror, is very, very good because we don't have removal for it. And yeah, it's going to be very hard to deal with. We are ahead with like our 7-drop on board, but that like this card just sticking around for 1 turn is like so backbreaking. It's disgusting. I love that card, by the way. Like, I love 8-drop Kid. I just don't know what matchup you'd want it in outside of the mirror, right? Is like maybe against yellow you'd want 8-drop Kid. Could be good. I'm not too sure. I don't know this I guess, how do you say? Not platform, but there's just this format yet. So I'm really not too sure where you want the 8-drop Kid. So yeah, we're just gonna freeze it and swing 10 at it. I assume he'll either counter or sack off his Law for it. And we'll hope he doesn't have a good follow-up play, but he probably does. Yeah, not in the best spot here. We do have, 2 7-drops, so if we untap both of them, like, we're looking pretty okay. But he has his own 7-drop, so he's gonna start doing things now behind the wall of Kid. So not the best. He has his own Bonnie, and then our 7-drop gets frozen. So now we have even less pressure on this Kid. It feels pretty bad. It feels pretty bad. He's going to go 7. We should just take this, and he'll probably go 7 again. And we can, like, block in 2K if we're scared. We don't have a 2K. But I don't think I can really go down to 1. Maybe I'm supposed to. Nah, we block in double 1K. Hawkins, isn't super valuable in this matchup. I mean, we have enough searchers. We find our 4th 7-drop, which is... Normally in a game it'd be pretty good, but we're going to play Luffy. We don't find a 5-drop. We probably really want another Bonnie here. I don't even know. Do we want Bonnie? Because this turn we kind of plan on trying to kill the Kid. We probably just want a Blocker Law. Probably would have been the best, but we'll go 10 at Kid. Hope he doesn't have the counter for it. He does. And now we're just going to hope something in his hand is non-counter. We're going to poke it with 8s. Looks like he has a lot of 2Ks. We'll go again. Yeah, unfortunate. That's 8-cost Kid right there. Just kind of swung the match. But we'll YOLO leader effect. Maybe we'll find a blocker, which could be good. We don't, so we'll just leave it there. We can replay the Luffy though. Look at that value. Grab a 2K. Pretty good. But yeah, we're looking pretty dead. He has to go for a game this turn because he's down to 1 card in hand. Also, I think he just YOLO'd into that, which is not fair. Why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't my top card be a Blocker Law? Not cool. But he'll go 7. I think I just end up like taking this because I don't have a lot of counter. I have 2 1Ks and a 2K. So I'll just take it, see what it is. I think I knew it was a Mihawk. I think, yeah, I just looked at life, so. We can counter out of this 9, but the thing is if we do, then we're just dead to like 10-10, so. Whatever, let's just take it. maybe we got a random 3-cost Veggie that just stops an attack. That'd be pretty cool, right? But we do not, and we end up losing that. There was another game I played after that, but I botched it really hard. I can throw it in some video at some point, but I was like, man, I misplayed this so bad that there's not even a reason to play it out. So we don't talk about that game. But moving on to Gecko, which I figured this would probably be about as hard as Smoker, maybe a bit easier. It kind of just depends if we get Kuzan, because Kuzan is just such a nasty card against us. we really can't interact with it. So yeah, we'll hope for the best. I think I wanted to swing 5/5 here with the Luffy, but I was like, nah, I don't think I can just sack off this Luffy just to attack for 5, because I guess after seeing that counter, maybe I should have, because Luffy can just get popped. But I think instead, yeah, I just played the Zoro and leave it up, which I think is fine too, just because it works very well with our, our blocker law that we'll have for next turn. And if the Luffy sticks around, we're feeling pretty good. Also, like, hoping he wouldn't use an Absalom to just pop a Luffy, but he might. And it's not the worst play, honestly, just because, if he knows how our deck works, we want to bounce the 1-drops, obviously. So it could happen. It could happen. But taking a break from yapping about the game, how have you guys been? How have you guys been enjoying OP10 format? I have not really experienced it. I'm assuming Dofi is doing Dofi things, and I don't think he goes away in OP10, so yeah, I assume just a lot of people are testing different decks in OP10 right now on the sim, which is cool. But I don't know how good green yellow does into that matchup. I imagine it's like kind of playable. Like, I'm not too sure. Maybe you want 8-drop Kid for that matchup, because are they really playing the 6 cost event that just removes a dude? I don't think so, right? They do have like perfume femur, which I mean could just unblockable the Kid, but then they're still spending a turn killing it. So yeah, maybe you want 8-drop Kid for that matchup. I take it back. We used our noggin there. Maybe that's why you play 8-drop Kid. I also just like that card. Like, I'm completely down to throw that in the list. Maybe just as a one-off because we have so many ways to search for it. So, yeah. But we just end up playing Bonnie, and we do the thing. We can bounce the Zoro and replay it. It's only going to attack for 5 this turn. Again, yeah, thinking about the Mihawk. No, we're not doing that. And we'll just leave the Zoro active, because unless he like blocks counters here, like, we're not going to swing the Zoro, because it'll just get free blocked, and then he can swing into it, which feels bad. But we're looking good. Next turn is our 7-drop Law turn. Don't have a 1-drop on the board currently for it, but we can always just take back like Zoro or Bonnie. It doesn't feel the worst. Doesn't feel the best either, but whatever. He's gonna play Sindri, mill 5. I didn't even look at what he milled. Whatever, who cares? We know he has an Absalom in there. That's all that matters, right? Goes 3 down on leader, attacks for 8, and we'll cheat out. I don't know what you cheat out here. Probably anything but Absalom, actually, because you haven't reduced anything. But maybe that's probably all he had, if that's what he's going for here. Shoutouts to me for not looking at what he milled. But we are going to block in 2k, 1k. What's kind of nice is that like Hawkins later on just kind of feels like a counter. You don't really have to worry about like playing him, because he's really only good on curve, honestly. But yep, we're going to play 7-drop Law, stack the Cavendish, give it on to my leader. And right now, yeah, right here, I think I realized, like, oh, what am I bouncing? It's like, I guess this Zoro, right? So we'll swing 5 with the Zoro, seeing if he'll free block with the Borsa. We do get 2 Dawn back, like, after bouncing, so we could potentially swing with the Bonnie as well, if we want to. So yeah, we'll leader effect, take back the Zoro, cheat out the Cavendish, we get to restand 2. And now I can kind of figure out how I want to attack. Just going to go 6 with my leader. I think I really wanted to swing 6 with Bonnie as well. But I was like, nah, I kind of want to play my 2 searchers and then, yeah, just probably pass on that. Which I think ended up being better. Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, nah, let me hold up a blocker. I'm at 2 life. He could randomly just try to kill me. We'll grab maybe just some counter or a play for next turn. Restand Law is pretty good for next turn. We'll search again, grab a 2k. Yep, that was solid. Can't complain. And he is moving into his 8 Dawn turn, so let's see if he has 8 cost Moria. Man, we love Moria. Although I feel like he's not really as prevalent in this format, or in 09 and this format, because I mean Blackbeard doesn't play him. I mean, he's still played by like Purple Black Luffy, Still obviously played by Moria. I don't know how present Lucci is. I don't think he's very present just because of Blackbeard, so you don't really see that. But he just cheats out another Absalom and ends up popping my Cavendish after using an Ice Age. So, goodbye Cavendish. Everyone likes removing Cavendish. It's not cool. I like restanding Cavendish, so I have a bunch of Dawn. Just let me do the cool thing. But he's going to go 5. We'll counter. And we'll go 6. We're just probably going to defend this again. And he cheats out a Hogback. Probably just going to grab it back a 2k counter if he has one. Or not. I guess he doesn't have one. Yeah, it seems just like kind of an unfortunate game for the Gecko player. Didn't see the 8-drop, and only has the Borsa to kind of try to protect him here. But we do have the restand, and we can set it up if we want to do that. He's just going to take it, and then we'll go, I guess, yeah, just 9 with Blocker Law. And if I remember correctly, he just blocks, and then, yeah, I could put 6 down on leader, and it, like, should be game, but I want to do the thing, so I do the thing. Yeah, we're just going to restand our blocker, and then swing for, how much is this, 13? Yeah, 13. See, it is optimal, though. It's optimal. So, can't criticize me for that. Has a good amount of counter, but I don't think he's making it. Yeah. Oh, he did have an 8-drop. Maybe he drew it, like, a turn late or something. I think I go for a rematch. I don't know if he actually ends up rematching. Cannot remember at the moment. Nope, he does not. Alright, we made it. That's the end of the video. Deck is very fun. I don't think I'm playing it super well by any means. I need to learn like all the matchups, honestly. And I've not played Blackbeard. The goal of this list is obviously to Mihawk on turn 2 before Blackbeard starts doing his thing where he discards and then you can't play the game. So, yeah. I definitely got to play that matchup, and whenever I do, I'll report back. But, yeah, deck is awesome. I want to learn it. I also want to play Yellow Kid, so expect more. Hopefully more this week. If not, definitely a video next week. But, yeah, anyways, hope you guys are doing well. It was good to talk to y'all, and, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.